Obviously, this is going to be a bit of an international embarrassment also, because just like in Madhya Pradesh, this news will also make international headlines about how there is, of course, nuclear safety that is being questioned here in India, something that the government wants to avoid. But it also wants to avoid any sort of an untoward incident. It wants to avoid any sort of firing, whether it be tear gas shells as well. So the police is keeping away as of now. The police is just monitoring the situation, saying that if the protesters continue to protest at the beach, well, the beach is theirs. They are free to protest as long as they don't come knocking on the doors of the Kudankulam Nuclear Power Plant. Let's listen into Yashoraj, one of the persons that we spoke to on this very contentious issue. Many divergent opinions right now coming out of this whole power plant issue, and no solution in sight.
Life-bearing party, it is a life-bearing agitation, but we have to suffer for our future.
Yes.
Because we want to save our land, our people, our sea and our people livelihood. So that we are, even we sacrifice our life, our people will live here. That's why we came into the sea.
But Yashoraj, how long? Because the government is not listening to you. They are just waiting and watching. They are hoping that you will get tired and get out of there. How long can you carry on like this, sir?
We are asking the government and all the parties, all the movements, those who are supporting us, to ask the government to seek the people's attention and grant all the things what we are needed. We are asking for all the parties and the well-wishers.
And Yashoraj, is there a middle path, sir? Is there a middle path? Will you back off if the government says we will take more safeguards, or you continuing to maintain that nothing less than the plant being shut down?
Yes, that is our aim. Now the government, we ask the government to don't fuel the reactor at present. Since we are filed the case in the Supreme Court, the government has to wait for the verdict.
Okay. Right, very clearly you can hear one of the leading anti-nuclear power plant protesters is saying one thing is absolutely clear: they won't stop at anything less than the nuclear power plant being actually shut down. We also spoke to Sundar, one of the petitioners in the Supreme Court. He says that it is not the question of shutting down the plant, but also the due process that has not been followed. Right from the inception, people haven't been taken into confidence. And yes, there are 17 recommendations that have been made by a governmental agency. Only 6 of them have been fulfilled. Priyamvada now joins us for more on this story. Priyamvada, if I can get across to you, just take us through exactly what the leaders are saying in terms of a solution, because there continues to be this divergent opinion. Shut down the plant, or take a look at the process also of establishing the plant.
Exactly, that's been their demand. But right now, the protest was happening for the immediate halt of filling of uranium at the nuclear power plant, which is likely to begin in a couple of days now. So that is their immediate demand. So they are saying, stop the fueling. Then probably, I think a dialogue can be established. My sources within the movement are saying they would be okay with it if the fueling could be stopped and the government can start the dialogue. So the whole thing, the solution probably, as you were asking, as we were discussing last time, would be when there is a dialogue that is open, a channel for dialogue is open, to sit and work out the pros and cons, and at least convince the protesters about 50% on why the plant is safe and why we should continue. As of now, there is no dialogue. Government is bent upon carrying on with the process, carrying on with the nuclear power plant. But the protesters are also protesting. They also are bent upon continuing with that protest. So both the protesters and the government are not ready to give up that stand.
Okay, Priyamvada, many thanks for getting us that update. We'll of course keep coming back to you, because this is one story that will continue to dominate the headline through the day today as long as these people continue to be in water. One just prays and hopes that there is no untoward incident, as hundreds of people literally taking to the seas in protest, holding hands, and yes, keeping a lookout for each other, because the police is completely absent. Only that aerial surveillance is happening at this point of time.